Hello, Minecrafters. This is Rob again. This is episode 2 of How to Build a Blackjack Machine. When we left off, I had described a 1-bit memory cell that could store a number either 0 or 1. And I asked the question, how do we do numbers larger than this? I said, find out in the next exciting episode. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the next exciting episode. This room contains an 8-bit, or I should say 8 1-bit memory storage cells. Each one is exactly identical to the initial and original memory cell. The only difference is what we're going to make those cells represent. As I said, this represents an 8-bit binary number. Each one of those things represents 1 bit. When we squish them all together, it becomes an 8-bit number, and it can store numbers from 0 to 255. Again, I hate to do the math to you, but here we go. In the first column, on the far right-hand side, just like in decimal numbers, we have the ones column. If this little light is on, then a 1 is on. This number is now 1. And this is the next column. If this is on, it's a 2. If it's off, it's a 0. The next column is 2 squared. If it's on, it's a 4. If it's not on, it's a 0. So this number now is 4 plus 1, or 5 in decimal. But in binary, this 8-bit number is 00000101. That's what 5 is in binary. Now, we can also, because remember these buttons we put on here, we can turn it off. So we can adjust this manually to any number we want. For instance, let's say, I did say we could do numbers between 0 and 255. If all the numbers are off, if all the lights are off, then the number that it represents as a whole, all 8 bits, it represents a 0. If all the lights are on, the number it represents is 255. Now let's say we want something between 0 and 255. Let's say we want 100, for instance. That's a pretty common number. Let's choose 100. To get to 100, we have to press first this button and turn on the 64. Then we need a little bit more to get to 100, so we press the 32, and I think we need another 4, which is down here somewhere. Here's the 4. Okay, now the binary number here is 01100100, way down on the end there. That represents 100 in binary, in an 8-bit binary number. So, essentially, what we've got here is the ability to either manually or by whatever other means we choose to do, we can record any number between 0 and 255. Now, we can also add more. We can make this a 16-bit binary number, and the number that we can store is considerably larger with a 16-bit number. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to just do an 8-bit binary number. Because actually, for our application, the Blackjack Machine, the first thing we need to do is take a bet. The player has to walk up to the blackjack table and place a bet. So the first thing we have to do is allow the player to select a bet. And we have to store that information so after the hand has completed, we can actually decide whether or not if the player wins the hand, we decide to pay the player. Not decide, we pay them. If they lose, we're going to take it from them before that comes. Now, let's see here. I have some things I need to read to you. Now, the problem with this kind of memory storage is twofold. First, it becomes difficult to make a lot of connections. Second, if you make it bigger to allow for more connections, it gets huge fast. And ultimately, no matter how large we build it, the reality of the 3D redstone limits how many connections we can have. And that would seem to be almost an insurmountable problem. I mean, maybe you could come up with some kind of crazy design where you could get lots and lots of connections on here, like you're going to need to run, redstone wires between them, so you're going to have to spread them out, you're going to have to make them bigger, but you're still physically limited to how many times you can connect to the available locations, if you will, off of the redstone that you're going to make. Well, we're going to show in the next video how to solve that little problem. It's not such a little problem, actually. It's kind of a big problem. And with that, I'd like to give a plug to the server that I'm building this on. I'm an owner at www.emeraldnation.com. Come and see me and visit, and I will explain anything that you don't understand in my videos, and I'm sure that after the next video I will be getting some questions about what people do not understand. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to do the next episode.